Welcome to Mrs. Bays' 6th grade math video lesson. Multiplication of decimals, number 2. Please do not use a calculator. You may use your multiplication chart. Let's begin by looking at our vocabulary. Factor, product, decimal places, and we're going to talk about labeling. Let's look at the example. We have a dollar sign, so that means we're referring to money. $1.25 times 3 is $3.75. Numbers that we multiply together are called factors. The answer to a multiplication problem is the product. Now let's look at decimal places. Decimal places refer to the number of digits past the decimal point. So let's look at the example. Let's go to the first factor. Notice it has a decimal point, and we have 2 places past the point. This factor does not have a decimal point. That means we have 2 decimal places. So then in the answer, we're going to go to the right and we're going to count 1, 2, and put in our decimal point. And then of course, because we are talking about money, we must label with a dollar sign. So let's make a note. We always label with a dollar sign in front of the number. Let's look at an example. We're going to start with a standard algorithm, and the problem is $4.82 times 8 equals, and we're going to look for the product. These two are called factors. So I'm going to write this problem vertically, but to do that, I look to see which factor has the most digits. This factor has 3 digits, this one has 1. That means we're going to put this one on top. So I want to start by the label, which is the dollar sign. And then I want to put the second factor below, but it's going to line up with the 2. So we always line up on the right side. Now let's multiply. 8 times 2 is 16. 8 times 8 is 64, plus 1 is 65. 8 times 4 is 32, plus 6 more is 38. Now let's go back and look at how many decimal places are in the problem. So in the first factor, I see a decimal point. I'm going to count 1, 2. The second factor, I don't see a decimal point. So in this problem, we only have 2 decimal places. So in the answer, I'm going to go to the right and I'm going to count 1, 2 and put in the decimal point. And last, because I know we're working with money, because I see the dollar sign, we're going to label the answer in front with a dollar sign. So now let's look back at our problem. $4.82 times 8 equals $38.56. Let's look at another method for multiplying decimals. This is box multiplication, or the box method. Let's look at this problem. $4.82 times 8. And we're looking again for the product. But we're going to do the box method. So I look at the first factor and I see that it has 3 digits. That means my box needs 3 columns. Now, to use the box method with decimals, we need to first kind of ignore that decimal point for just a moment. So if I ignore it for just a minute, 4 is in hundreds place. Plus, again, I'm gonna just not look at the decimal point for a moment. 8 is in tens place. And last, 2 is in ones place. Now let's bring those numbers down to the box. 400, we're going to write above the first column. 80 is above the second column, and 2 is above the last column. The second factor only has 1 digit, so we put that out in front of the box. Now let's show our work. Always start with the top number. That's 400 times 8. Next is 80 times 8. And last is 2 times 8. Now let's multiply. Let's do some quick multiplication here. 4 times 8 is 32. But I have 2 zeros, so I'm going to bring those down. So I have 3,200. Now I'm going to take 8 times 8 and get 64 and bring down our 0 and get 640. And last, 2 times 8 is 16. Now let's add these 3 together. When I add, make sure that you align on the right column. So 640 will go below the 200, and 16 is going to go below the 40. Please be sure you line up these numbers very neatly. That will avoid mistakes. 0 plus 0 plus 6 is 6. 0 plus 4 plus 1 is 5. 2 plus 6 is 8. And we're going to bring down the 3. Now remember, this problem is dealing with money. Notice a dollar sign and a decimal point. So now let's look at the decimal point. Decimal point and 1, 2. But this factor doesn't have a decimal point, so that means this problem only has 2 decimal places. So I go to my answer and I count 1, 2, and I put in the decimal point. And last, I'm going to notice again that this is dealing with money, so we're going to label it with a dollar sign out front. So $4.82 times 8 is $38.56. Now let's look at the practice. For this practice, I want you to go to IXL, 6th grade math, to U.4. Multiply money by whole numbers and decimals. Now remember, you're working to get at least an 80%. That will give you full credit. But if you go to 100%, that little extra effort will be rewarded by giving you a bonus point. Thank you.